Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, sir. Welcome to now session 3 of Bloody Spotsylvania. If you've tuned in thus far, then you've seen that it's not quite as bloody as it led on to be, but there's always a possibility. We are now on turn 4 of 5, and we're going to assess the situation here as we do each and every week. I don't think there were any corrections. Everyone was very good about watching, tuning in, and nobody pointed out any goofs, so I'm pleased about that, Roger. We got through a whole session without anything overtly wrong. But how you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing okay. Well, we'll see how today's session goes. I think this has been, as always for me, these first playthroughs are always such a learning experience of what, I guess I'll put it this way, what not to do. And I think I've learned something here. I don't know. I've been looking at this map for a while now going, what do I do? What do I do? I don't have a clue
There
of
is
what I should do.
definitely an 8 ball here on this map, and you are pretty astounding. You are behind that 8 ball. We're
Oh,
we're
by a
not
ways,
we're
yeah.
not going to lie about that. And I agree with you. I think the first playthrough for both of us, in many ways, is what don't touch that. That's hot. Psst, ow! Yes, don't do that again. It's very much a learning experience, and that's why I love it because every one of these scenarios they are a puzzle in their own way. And if you haven't played them, like I haven't played this one in at least 12 years, it's there's so much left to the vagaries of movement and dice and weather and how aggressive your opponent is and all of that normal stuff in great campaigns. But in this one, Act 1 is firstest with the mostest. If you can get there, which I was fortunate enough to do that, then now I have the luxury here in the last couple of turns, and that may be foolhardy. We will see if I can switch postures and kind of go on the defensive. Now, I want it to rain, right? I would
Yes,
love for.
yeah. Rain will not be my friend. Rain last time would not have been an awful thing because then I think the Cav may not have all got. That was when I saw us not get rain, and I'd already got my little spreadsheet and I'd done the math and realized, I know you were surprised you got all your guys off. I figured you would. The odds were in favor of that, and I couldn't match you manpower for manpower, and that was enough to do the tilt to where you would be on top. Now, my failed assault certainly helped with that tilt, but it was still a tilt. So now I'm yeah, as you said, I'm behind the 8 ball. Good defensive position. If I could just I could pull back across Sneed's Bridge there, and I'd be in a good defensive position going forward if this was a campaign. I think force you to have to do something.
Right,
But it's not
exactly,
a campaign
exactly.
game. I've got to somehow take the offensive here, and you've kept your strength there. Todd's Tavern is not a possibility. If I try to go after Ninth Corps, well, that opens me up to you going towards. It's a swap. I mean, I can't hold Mount Pleasant, and it's like, golly, what do I do? What do I do? Anyway, we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see.
So just at the top again, just so we, because I forgot last week, we said that 50. What am I currently at?
I've
50.
got you now at 59 points.
Okay.
If the game were to end right now, which is you'd be up 7 points on me because you've got 40 points in Cav that have left, and I have 30 points. So you're plus 10 on that. For manpower, you haven't lost a single, as you said, not bloody Spotsylvania. I've lost 4 for 12 points positive for you. Plus, we balanced out Sheridan left, Stewart left, so that's a wash. But you now have Guinea Station for 4, Massaponax Church. I'm probably butchering how you pronounce these words for 4, Todd's Tavern for 4, and the big points, 25 points for Spotsylvania.
It very much is. Come take it. That's my. I'm gonna put that on a bumper
which is
sticker.
which is kind of the math I did before our last session was I had to grab Spotsylvania in my frontal. And I had an opportunity, but the initiatives and the combat rolls just did not go my way to retake Spotsylvania Courthouse. And it's not for those of you who are just skipping ahead and you're looking. I wanted to be at Spotsylvania. I didn't get there. I rolled a bunch of ones. Go back and watch our first session, and you'll watch Roger roll one after one, except for when I didn't need a one. Then I rolled a 6, and I
He
only moved 1 hex. So it was kind of like,
what Roger is saying is he wanted it very much in his heart, and
yes,
fate
very
said
much.
nay. Yeah, that happens in this game. Absolutely. I have seen that story many times.
And then I probably messed up by not pushing hard on our second session to get there before you had a chance to reinforce and dig in, and etc., etc., etc.
Etc. Yes. So let it be written, so let it be done.
Yes.
Well, then that I think that sets us up pretty well here, and yeah, I don't know how cavalier I wish to be today. Those of you who've been watching this series a long time know that a cushion is a very nice thing, but it can change rather quickly if Roger gets a hot streak and he finds that crease and he works it. And yeah, so 25 points is a huge difference here. And if he manages to get in Spotsylvania Courthouse, that has me well now scrambling. So we'll see how that goes. Let's take you through the numbers first. Of course, we have to go through our sequence of play, which is random events. So that will have a big determining factor here on what happens in turn 4. Why don't you take the roll for this one?
Okay, this will be 2 dice. It's a 6, which is Union Command Paralysis, which means no effect.
We had a 6 last time as well, so no effect on this turn. No more rain. So there's one more opportunity on turn 5 for rain, and that is it. Let's see. I think the next step was our transfers. Let's see. Do I want to move anybody? Well, you've got Yule facing off against Sedgwick. Yeah, he has to stay there because, once again, as we've established, Ricketts is terrible. So he's got to stay there. I think I will keep Grant. I'll definitely keep Warren where he is. I'm going to move Grant over to Hancock. I feel like he's been avoiding the front line here a little too long. Hancock will stay where he is. Burnside will come down. Well, he's no help at all, so
Yeah, so I found out.
he'll
He's useless.
he will mind the commissary train at Massaponac's church. I think that's everybody I'm going to move. So over to you.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to move Sedgwick. Well, I think I'm going to move Anderson. Now I'm going to stack my leaders up. Anderson goes, so he'll command field. And Lee is also going to go to that same X. Talk about telegraphing what I'm going to try to do.
The two great generals stare each other.
Okie doke.
All right, what do we got next? We've got attachments. Well, now I do finally have an attachment. I will merge Kitching into Bernie and just make him a 14 now. So he's going to go up to there, and they're both at breastwork, so that is fine. And that's it. Todd's Tavern is supposedly secure, and I don't think I have anybody else that qualifies, so that is my only attachment.
Yeah, so I'm going to merge Ramser into Mahone. So that's going to be 15 and 4 artillery. And Ramser, I'm just going to delete. Mahone goes there. That's it for me.
Okie doke. Well, then we are ready to start the action cycle. So, as we do in our previous sessions, let me wish you, Roger, the best of luck today.
Well, good luck to you as well.
Thank you. And we are underway with the action cycle for turn 4. I'll do the first initiative, and it is Union left, Confederate right. And it's a tie because there are no streaks in the die roller. It is you, sir. Off you go.
Okay, so Gibbon is 7 strength with 2 artillery. So I'm going to activate Heath to fatigue 2. Early's going to attempt a core assault on Gibbon. Does come off. Plus 3 attack, right? Lee, tactical, and type.
That's what I see.
So if I added field, that give me 8 guns to 2 for plus 6. on rolling. Ooh, is that rolling? It'd just be a die roll. And I'm not going to get an extra pip for ratio. And I'd be going up to 12 on the CRT table, which puts me up into a whole different column, which is no good at all. So I'm just going to go with Heath against Hancock Gibbon. So I see a type of +1, a tactical of +1, and I get a Lee bonus of +1. Artillery is 4-2, so that's covered. There's obviously no flank and no terrain, so I see a final of a +3.
+3 is correct.
Okay, +3. And it's a 5.
Here's my defense. Oh,
Whoa!
look at that. You got a 4. I got my first mush roll. Okay. Well, let's open up our combat chart. It's 4 on 7 for me, so +4 on 7. I do lose a manpower, and I'm routed. And you have 7 as well, and you're just fatigued.
Okay.
So let me take my demoralize. And 3, lose a manpower. And we will give you that. Well, so now we look at very important retreat calculations here. So we're going to go 1 away by road, 2 away by road, 3 away by road, 4 away by road.
Okay. I can only advance with Heath. That's 3rd Corps, so that's going to be Ewell. Early, I should say. And we'll move Lee with them as well. Okay, initiative. That's mine again. Okay.
Go for the big enchilada.
So let's see. So you're Abatiste 18, 4.5 artillery. And that terrain is rough terrain, it looks like. So that'd be a -1 potential artillery die roll. If I bring up field, that's only going to give me 5 more manpower, but that's 7, that give me 12. So right now my ratio would be -2. That would reduce it to a -1. Potential flank attack, but you don't have Sedgwick. So it'd have to be an attack on the march from Cutler, or I've also opened up, be grabbing Mount Pleasant. Do I care? No, I don't. So I'm going to activate Field Fatigue 2 with Anderson. Here's his movement to extended march. No modifier. He's okay. So they're going to join their compatriots. Put Lee on top. Initiative. Mine again. Okay. I need Lee to pull off the grand assault. So I'm going to take Field Fatigue 3. Here's the attempt at an assault. It does not come off. That's why.
Man, I'm sweating bullets over here.
Initiative. Mine again. Okay. So we'll go with Field. Attempt an assault again. Anderson. He's fatigue 4 now. Here's the attempt. Comes off. Now Lee is going to attempt a grand assault. Bring in Heath. That comes off. So they're now both at fatigue 4, which I was hoping was, well, this is going to be such a roll of the dice, isn't it? Okay, so you have 18. Let's just, I'll do the type is obviously a +1. I'll do my +1. Tactical is a +2. Lee gives me a +1. The ratio now is 12 to 18. So that's going to be a -1 for ratio. Artillery is now, you have 3, 4.5 to 8. 3. So it's just covered now. No flank, no terrain. So it's going to be 1, 3, 4 up and 1 down for a final of a +3.
That is what I see.
Okay, +3. Here we go. It's a 5 again.
All right. I've never asked for a 5 or a 6 before, but I'm asking for a 5 or a 6. Come on, give me a good defense roll. Here we go.
4 is good enough, actually.
It's a 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Just enough.
All right, but what kind of manpower do we have exchanging here? So a 2, I have 12, so I lose 1. And
Okay.
you have 18, and you lose 1. So I get a point on that, but horribly I lose Spotsylvania Courthouse. All right, so we're going to remove our appetit. We're going to take a manpower loss. We're going to flip and get 3. I'm going to go 1 and 2 to there. And I will take 1, and you take 1.
I took 1 off the field.
Okay. Spotsylvania Courthouse is yours, sir.
I can just not advance.
That's true. You could. You could stay out of the meat grinder.
Okay, but we will advance.
All right. So let's do both of these. It is now yours once again. Well, there's a big swing.
Yeah. That was the die roller bailing me out. Multiple initiatives in a row to start. Okay. Initiative. Yours. Whew.
All right. Thinking out loud here, I can either, knowing that I'm not going to get a string of initiatives, more than likely. This one is very precious. So do I immediately just try to get you out of there? And you're an 11, so that is certainly possible. Or do I try to do it with pain? Prevent you. Luckily, I've got you pretty well. Yeah. So I have a full flank right now. So
Yes.
let's just go for the obvious. Let's have Sedgwick activate right and see what we get here. So here's +1 to this roll. That's a 6.
Wow.
So he will transfer over to right.
Mm-hmm.
And we will make a prepared attack on Spotsylvania Courthouse. So I get my sheet of paper out for the first time. So we have +1 for prepared. I have +4 for final flank. Minuses, I see a -1 for tactical. And then artillery, I have 3 to your 8. So that's a -5 on rough. And rough is -1.
Ooh,
Okay.
-1 off the top.
Yep. There you go. So I see 5 up and 2 down for also a +3.
+3.
+3 it is. Okay. Here is my attack roll. +3. It's an 8.
That's enough. No matter what I get.
Oh,
worse than that.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. That's a +7 on 11.
11 is going to be, it's 2 DR. Avoided the 3.
Okay. So I had 13. I'm just in advance.
So I'll take, does it matter? No, not really. Take the 2 off of field. And they both pick up the moralization markers. Now retreat.
This is going to be interesting because you have an open one here at some point. So this is either way. Well, either way you can go to any of these, but that's going to be potential losses. Beyond that, if you go to this one, then you must go to that one, and then that,
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this one's a puzzler, folks. We're going to take this one at a time.
So let's see if I go. Yeah, these 3 are all the same. If I go here, then if I go here, I've got to go there, which is this option is not going to happen. because
Yeah.
that's just retreat losses up the
Oh,
Union.
yeah, yeah.
If I go here, my next option is here, which is going to be 2 more manpower. If I go here,
Well,
um,
on this one, if you go here, then you do have the option to go by road here. And then, I mean, it's still, you're going to take some, but you are able to get
yeah.
farther away by road. And then
Oh,
here,
true.
but then both of these are, well, then this one will ultimately, so you'll take some here, and then you'll be in the clear here.
And then so that's 4 to Smith's Mill.
Right. So that's a
I could stop
possibility.
there.
Yeah.
If I go here, this is the tricky one. If I go here, which looks like the obvious way to go, my next option is, if we look in retreat is none to a hex more distant. Okay, so I don't have 3, so I'd have to go here for my next one,
Right.
3418, because
Right.
now my options are either here or here, which are not more distant. So it's going to be option 4, and I'm going to be in the right-hand side, which is a 2, is how I see it.
Yeah.
If I go this
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
So the least, this option, 1 here, no manpower loss, additional. Now my next option is I go here, because that's for the way. That's my only option.
Right.
Because this is Zoc, and this is Zoc by road. Now I could go, no, I've got to go this way. No choice.
Or 3817, right. So that's your 4A.
And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I lose 2 more manpower
Right.
off of each guy. So that's an additional 2. Let me add that to my spreadsheet because I think this might be the end of this. Now I can go 4 to Smith's Mill.
Right. And that is,
and,
yeah, that's
or I
2,
could go
right?
an additional, yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That was my only option. Now I could go 2 more hexes, which would put me, I could continue running away basically through the rough terrain, which probably isn't a terrible idea to go there and then there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't think it really matters. Or I could go there.
That one gives you more options on road, I think.
Yeah.
But
So we'll go
it's
there.
theoretically easier for me to do a full flank on that one. So there are pluses and minuses on both.
Yeah, I'll go there. I think that's gives me creeks on 2 sides.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can still set up a. So anyway, in the river, and you've taken.
Yes. So
Well, unless you decide not to move.
no. We'll certainly go back in there. So we're gonna take that and that.
Okay. So with that,
All hail Cedric, the savior of the Union.
yeah, I was kind of hoping you were going to move Cedric down there as part of leader transfer, and then my thought was to go through Ricketts and kind of do something through there. I could still possibly try to do that.
Officially, here is the next initiative, and it is over to you.
So right now I've got you at 70 points.
Wow.
Which is a Union substantive victory because the manpower losses really piled up there. It's 27 to -4 now.
Yes, that is what I see. Yep.
So that's just ridiculous.
Why do I have to be so aggressive, Roger? I mean, geez, Louise. I'm such a bloody man. And yet I'm still sitting here thinking Roger can do this, because I've played you enough. And you get a string of 8 initiatives, and then everything moves in. It's just I just watched you walk into Spotsylvania courthouse.
We'll try this again. So you'll take Rhodes to fatigue 1. Here's his movement. It's a 6. So he's going to lose, and you'll transfer 2 roads, but first we'll get rid of his entrenchments. So he's going to go 1, 2 to Blockhouse Ridge. And since he went Zoc to Zoc, he has to stop there.
That is correct.
You cannot continue marching and attacking. Initiative. It's yours.
Uh-oh.
Attack with Ricketts.
Yeah. Cedric's like, no, belay that. You're 12. Well,
You get a +4 flank.
Well, I'm actually considering from Barlow here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I was trying to distract you.
your
Doing
obfuscation
the,
attempts.
the
Yeah,
least likely path.
this is probably, this is nuts. This is nuts. But
You got some wiggle room
I do
here
have
though.
wiggle room, so I will activate Barlow with Hancock, and let's see what he gets. Movement. It's a 3. He will transfer down with Grant. I'll go there, there, and there for the folks at home. So I could. Wow. Let's see. Let's just run the numbers here. We'll call up my accountant, Mary. We've got a normal attack, so I would have a +4 flank, as you pointed out. I would not have artillery covered, but it'd be rough, so that's a die roll. So 4, and then minus tactical, potentially minus artillery. So potentially it'd be a +2 attack, but it would shut him down. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I have a little wiggle room here. I think I need to do a spoiling attack. So I'm going to, or I could just stay there and just let you come through me. Oh, in the creek too. So yeah, I think I will not make the attack. I will just transfer down there and march in place. Here's movement. I mean, here's the next initiative. It's yours.
We'll take Wilcox to fatigue 2. He loses his entrenchments. Here's his movement. It's a 4 because they get a +1. Oh, he needs to roll extended, doesn't he? Because he's exhausted.
He does.
He's okay. Okay, so he's going to come up to Old Courthouse. Old Courthouse. So he's moved 1 hex. He's got a 3. A normal attack. Yeah, we'll make a normal attack on Barlow with Wilcox. And you have a die roll for artillery.
Okay, here's my die roll. On even, it is used and set up. It is not set up.
Okay, so I'm a normal, so there's no for type. Tactical is even. Artillery now is even. There is no terrain. The ratio is going to be -1. For flank, I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes covered for a +2 flank.
That is correct.
So the final will be a +1 attack.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go, +1. And once again, I roll low for a 3.
It's a 3. Here's my defense. It's 5.
Okay, so that's a -2 result.
Yes. -2.
So you're fatigued. You're not tired. On the other hand,
they keep coming, sir.
On the other hand, I have a 2D.
A 2D, yes. All right.
So he is obviously going to lose some manpower. 1, 2. He's going to be fatigued out. And he is going to flip his manpower. So he's now a 7.
So we're putting you at. Okay. And I take a fatigue. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do one more thing here, and then we'll see. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll do one more thing. Why not? Even now, if I take Spotsylvania quarter, it'll be a 1-point swing. Okay, we'll try it. You will attempt an assault on Hancock, Grant, and Barlow. They'll go to T2. Here's the attempt. And it does not come off. Initiative. Yours.
Well, let's see. We got. That doesn't help.
I've got you at 76 points right now, which is
Yep.
24-point differential marginal victory.
So the quandary is if I if I entrench, it does not really help other than, what's my, yeah, it would not help. If I do a flanked refuse, that's marching to fatigue level 3, and I could potentially flip.
Potentially flip, yeah.
Which is El Stinkola, La Stinkola. Or I could just be aggressive and try to blunt the attack once again, and I think let's see, this time it would be assault, flank, that's 5. We would check for artillery, it would be minus creek and minus that. So yeah, I think I need to, it now warrants making the attempt. So Barlow will go to fatigue level 3 and attempt an assault. So here's the attempt. And it comes off.
Yeah, it comes off.
Hancock is willing. All right. So why don't you roll your artillery and see how that goes?
I'll just throw this out for people at home. Maybe you thought about it, maybe you haven't. If you threw Ricketts in to get an additional,
well, that's
pip.
That's true. I guess I have to make the assault.
If you
I
want,
have to grand assault first. Up to 23. Yes, and that that's not enough yet.
It's not enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, it's not enough. So yeah, what's the point?
So we will forego a grand assault and just see if we can shut you all down.
Here's my attempt for artillery. It's used, yay! Nothing matters.
Well, yes, use that 6 now. That's fine.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking.
All right, so we got +1 assault, +4 final flank. So that's 5. So we got -1 for tactical, -1 for the artillery, and -1 for the creek. And that's what I see. It's 5 up and 3 down for a +2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's +2. Here's the attack. Ooh!
Another 6 would be nice.
Oh, it's a 0. Hey, that's good enough. Yeah. That's a 0, but that's going to hurt a little bit. I got 14, and it's a 1D, so I'm going to give you 1 back on that, and you've got just a D. But, all's fair. That, flip, and lose a manpower. I will take that manpower loss. That is fine.
He's done.
And you do have a voluntary retreat option if you wish.
Probably should take it. Because otherwise you can just keep hammering me with troops, which is, I'll fall back to here.
Okay. So that is that. Next initiative, it's mine again. I will pass.
You know what? I just think this has gone on long enough. I don't see any way now. I mean, I've got -22. I got no way to fight my way through Spotsylvania courthouse. I know I have another day left. I guess I will pass as well and end the day.
Okay. So we will pass and end the day, and let's see what happens here. Let's do a sunshine recovery. There we go. Everybody is entrenched and recovered. Let's move our time marker to the final turn. And let's do the random event. I think you rolled the last one, so I'll roll this one. Here we go. It's a 6 again, so that's nothing. So we will press on into turn 5. No leader transfers for me. I don't believe. Nope. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Actually, I take that back. I will move. I'll move Warren to Robinson.
Well, let's see. So that's 3rd Corps. Wilcox is 3rd Corps. So that's going to be early. Lee will transfer with him. Anderson will go down to Kershaw. You will stay where he is. Yep, I'm done.
All right. I don't believe we have any attachments at this point, so
no.
We will do our first initiative. Here we go. Why don't you roll it this time?
Okay. It's mine.
All right.
Well, I don't think I have any time to waste. Take Wilcox to fatigue 2. And he's going to attempt an assault on Grant. Here we go. Comes off. So I have a type of a +1. This is just digging such a deep hole. It's ridiculous. Tactical of a +1. Ratio of a -1. And you have an artillery roll.
Oh, okay. So here is the roll. On even it is used. It is not used.
Okay, so it's 3 up and 1 down for a final of a +2. So I do not have a flank because I only have 4 hexes covered. So it's final of a +2. That's what I see.
+2.
Okay, here we go. +2. 7.
Okay.
A little late, but I'll take it.
Here's defense. It's also +2. All right.
Well, I needed to not have that happen.
Yeah.
Because that.
All right. So now I got 9
Because
+2.
that's actually 1D again.
Yeah. And I also have gotten a D, or 1D rather. So I will take the manpower loss and fatigue him out. So it's 1 and 1 each of us, right?
Yeah.
All right. And I must go back 2, so I will go 1, 2.
I don't think I'll take the hex.
That makes sense.
Keep the road clear. Initiative. Yours. Now the road comes slamming shut. I think you're on mute.
I'm on mute, of course. So did you hear me build the abattis with Cedric and Wright?
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah. So activated Gibbon with Hancock. We've rolled a 6. We will transfer to them, and they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Initiative. Oh, extended march for them. Extended march is 3 plus. They're fine.
Yep.
Here's initiative. It's mine again. Well, 8. What to do here? Well, Anderson's sneaking around down there. Actually, let's do this. Let's have Mott go to fatigue level 1. Come out of his entrenchments. Here's his march straight up. 5. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To Mine Church. Initiative. Well, the string is now going my way. Mott again. Here's the movement. 5 again. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and...
Which way does he go?
Which way, George? Wow, that's a really good question. He's just going to go that way. All right, initiative. It's yours.
He's doing that. He's heading there. So I'm back to only one option. Yule's going to activate Rhodes, fatigue 2. We're also going to activate E. Johnson. And we're going to activate Gordon. So here's their movement. It's a 2. So it's a +2. Here, Yule will stay with Rhodes. Here's his extend march. He's okay. He's just going to do a min move to Blockhouse Bridge. E. Johnson loses his entrenchments. And he's just going to make a min move to there. Gordon's going to lose his entrenchments. Maybe I should have done this a long time ago. And he's just going to do a min move to there. Initiative. Mine again. I'm just going to activate Rhodes and I'm going to attempt an assault on Grant with Yule. It does come off. So this is going to be a type of a +1. Tactical is +1. I do have 5 hexes covered for a flank of a +2. The ratio is covered and the artillery no longer is in effect. So it's going to be a final of a +4.
And -1 for the Creek.
Oh, and -1 for the Creek. Yep, -1 for Creek. So the final is going to be a +3. Here's my attack roll. An 8.
Here's my defense. +5. So they're going to go double secret demoralized. Let's see, I've got a 7. 5 on 7 is 2 DR. Wow. Okay, so getting some of it back. They're going to go all the way there, get a second for that, get 2 losses, 1, 2, and give you those losses. Did you have any losses?
I had that was a final of a +8.
+5.
+5, yeah. No.
Okay. So my route path must go 1, 2, 3. Farther away, but I don't have a road, so it will go there. Okay, I'll take that 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
So yeah, I better grab that blockhouse intersection while I can. Initiative. Yours.
We'll have Neil march. Here's his movement. 4. So he can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Initiative. Yours.
Yeah, we'll take Rhodes to fatigue 4. And E. Johnson to fatigue 2, and I can get to him through there. Be 1 dice +2. They can go 4 hexes. Yule's going to transfer to E. Johnson. He'll go first, and he can just go 1 hex to there. Now Rhodes has an extended march of +3.
Mm-hmm.
He's okay. He could go 4 hexes. I'm going to do a min move to there. Initiative. Mine. We'll take E. Johnson to fatigue 3 with Yule. Here's his movement. It's a 6, so he could go 8 hexes.
The gods of war are telling you something.
So he could go 1, 2, 1, 2 to there, 3 to there. He would have enough to make a prepared attack. Doesn't pay for me to wait to make the assault. So we'll go now. So this is going to be a type of a +1. Tactical is a +1. The ratio, let's see if I can calculate the ratio here. You've got 13 times 1.5. So that's going to be 18.5.
Yes.
+7 gives you
Over 25.
25. So it's going to be -2 for ratio.
Mm-hmm. So essentially 10 to 30, right?
And then artillery, I believe, is going to be a die roll for you because you have 6 to 3 is -3. Let me see, does that move you into a whole different category?
I got 7.5 because I got that abattis. So it's 7.5 to your, 3? So
3.
-4.5.
More 4 or less. So now you get it. You don't even have to roll a die.
It's just
a
a
-1 straight up.
Yep.
So artillery is a -1 with no die roll. So I see a final, and this will be the final of -1.
But you're saying there's a chance.
I am saying there's a chance. So here we go. -1 attack roll.
Oh, Roger, how can you do this to me, man? I'm glad we can give some excitement to the folks at home because you watch what's going to happen here right now. There's more than a chance for you. All right, here's my defense, low as it is. So
That's enough.
it's a +1. Whew, whew, whew.
So +1 on 10 is going to be another loss for me.
And I've got essentially 13 and 7 is 20. So 1D for me. Yep, so we just exchanged on that one.
So he increases his fatigue. He uses another manpower, and he also flips. And we will roll for knit. It's mine. And you know what? I'm going to pass at this stage.
I believe that you've almost stopped my heart. So I'm going to take my winnings, scoop them up, and go cash out my chips and pass as well. So let's do a final VP accounting, and then we will do our scenario discussion for this one. First of all, congratulations on a couple of those final battles there. There was a point where I was like, could you just read me the serial number on the handle of that shovel before I ask you to hand it to me? But man, you always manage to make it exciting and potentially work.
Yeah, potentially. That was the key.
Oh man, 1 pip. 1 pip, and I would have been out of there. That's unbelievable. All right, so I show, let's make sure our accounting is correct. I show USA 7 losses and CSA 13. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So the difference there is what, 39 to 14, so it's 25
Yep.
points.
Yep.
25. All right. So 25 for that. I got the 10 for the various and sundry things. Now, for Holger, we can do in our theater of the mind that Mott would come down here and be a hero and go to Mount Pleasant, but we're not, we're not going to do
Yeah.
that. But let's see, 35, and then for what places I did capture, I have 25 and 12. So
Yep.
72.
72. Yep.
72.
Which is a substantive, I believe. I don't think you quite work into
That's
decisive.
fine.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And giving you your, if you throw on that as, Mott. Well, yeah, even if he rolls terribly, he's going to make it to Mount Pleasant.
Right.
So,
72 to
that's another 4
76. Yeah.
yeah.
Does that
Which is
move the
still,
category up?
yeah, it's still substantial. You
Yeah.
have to get to 87.
Yeah. And
Which you could potentially get with manpower losses if you
Sure. I didn't figure you were going to move Anderson away, so
No,
I couldn't sneak in there for that one.
I couldn't see any value to trying to get him up there.
Yep.
At that point, I mean, it was so. I was barely gonna inch ahead by getting you out of Spotsylvania.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we're throwing away 8 points. It was just like, well, that's not point. Or the same thing. I was thinking the same thing here. Continue to move Gordon, and then try. But I realized Mahone didn't have a road from. I didn't realize it till after I moved Gordon out of there that there was no road between these two hexes.
Right.
So that would have cost me a disorg and not to mention losing fatigue. So
yeah, that's what I was counting on here. I was figuring that Mahone either had to be stuck like glue to me just to keep me from getting frisky here, or you were going to have to determine yourself to march, and that would be telegraphing. So I could say, all right, well, now I know what you're going to do.
And you can chase behind me.
Exactly. This is the official end of Bloody Spotsylvania. It was bloody. It was indeed. It lived up to its billing. But let's talk about the scenario as a whole and what mindset we're going to use when we swap spaces here for next time. So, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'd like you to go first.
Absolutely. It was great. No, I like this one because of all the things we've sort of just said incidentally along the way. It is a puzzle. It's more of a race to me than what Races for Spotsylvania was, because that first turn is, if you get a good string of initiatives as the Union and you get into a good spot, that clearly Spotsylvania Courthouse is well within your grasp. So I was very fortunate to get there, to hold it, and I was able to build some defensive works there, and then organize the road, litter the road with obstacles in such a way that. And I'm not going to lie here. I mean, I was no genius on that. I just benefited from your string of ones that were so viscerally painful for both of us because I saw that one come up. I was like, "Am I seeing the same one? Is that no? He just rolled that again. Crap." Yes, I have a feeling that when we swap sides, if I do not get a string of ones, it will, of course, be it'll be just a story of love and riches for the Confederacy because they will be able to race with their +2 leadership activations, things like that. So that was a huge mitigating factor for you. There's no two ways about it. You should have by all rights been there and set up your mule shoe salient, set up your angle, all of that stuff. But I was fortunate enough to get there firstest. So that's a big factor in great campaigns. You just never can tell. But at the same time, it is also offset by the fact that Roger did get many strings of 6+ initiatives where even though he's marching poorly, you still get a chance to march more than the Union. So I felt like I was constantly reacting in the first two turns. And the rain turn, of course, didn't help, didn't hurt. It helped me slightly more than it hurt me because I was already in place. So that just made you look at your tired units and say, well, you know what? It's just set up camp, boys. We're gonna rest for the day. I think that was probably you can turn that into a benefit. And then turns 3, 4 just kind of we're cinching my way. Once I have some breathing room, once I have the ability to go after strategic objectives, you and I mostly focused on the cavalry in turn 3, which is a wonderful little meta game for this. That's just points on the table. And if you can swing it just right, which I was able to, I got 10 extra points to cushion things. So for the Union, I think very much so is build a cushion, hold the cushion, and then if you need to go on the offensive there at the end, you take that pillow or that cushion and you put all the stuffing in one corner, and then you just try to wallop. Um, but for you, you kept coming at me. I'm like, well, I'm going to take a swing at him again, but you don't have to. I let you lose the points, and that's often the way. I mean, we've seen now after 3 years, that's the way I play this game. I'm going to let the dice hurt you more than it hurts me. And I know if you're making desperation attacks and you're trying to set things up, there's a lot of moving parts. And if I don't have to do anything but react, then I'll let you just, here, have some more rope. Here you go. Here you go. So on the whole, next time I'm sure will be absolutely different. Hopefully, for in the Confederates' favor. I'm not going to lie, but but who's to say? So that's my thoughts. I really like the scenario. There's a lot of possibilities. I don't think it's ever going to play the same way twice. I don't think it's ever going to get samey, which is to say that it's not something that you can count on for tournament play. I have seen it in tournaments. I think that was the first time I ever played it. And if you goof right from the beginning, then if somebody capitalizes on it as the opponent, then it's probably not going to go so well. So that's my big thoughts. I really like it. I'm looking forward to swapping sides. What do you think? I mean, we're gonna take the poor movement rolls and we'll just put that into its own category. We know that. But is there anything that you would have done differently beyond that as the Confederates for this?
Yes. And this goes all the way back to the first session. You'd think after we did the whole Hoods campaign that I would have gotten used to the -3 losses on the Confederate.
Oh,
That is
right.
You've really got to be careful. In the first session, I think standing with Stewart, I'll defend that all day long. I lost badly. I lost manpower. I didn't, whoever you put into Spotsylvania initially, I didn't slow him down at all. But my attack I made later in that session up here in the wilderness, where I lost the manpower, it was unnecessary. Even if I'd have won, it wouldn't have accomplished anything. And that -6 points, which essentially meant that one of these 4-pointers was now essentially like taking another victory location, put me in my head and in my spreadsheet, which I was looking at, because I was thinking you're going to get all your cav off with that +10. Really put more pressure on me to attack to take Spotsylvania than I needed to be. I think if I had not made that second attack at all, because again, looking at it, I was looking at the videos like, what was it? And it's frustration. It's because of the ones. I need to just put that aside. And I'll go back to a coach here at Tennessee who was always full of things to say that were stupid. Snap and clear, forget it. And I wasn't doing that. I got frustrated. I made an attack I shouldn't have made. And that put me behind the 8 ball because I could just see, okay, you're going to get the plus 10 for a Cav. And I was trying to figure out how can I stop you from doing that. But I committed Stewart at that point to holding these bridges to keep you from getting Mount Pleasant and Standards Mill because I was in the hole. I just couldn't. I just couldn't get myself to where I could force you to attack me. And that was crucial, I think, on the Confederate side. I think, the historical was you force them to take, Union, I don't think can win unless they take Spotsylvania Courthouse. But I don't think the Confederate is necessarily going to lose if they don't hold Spotsylvania Courthouse. And I think that is my big error. I did it on session 1, making an attack I shouldn't have made for no reason. And in these 1864 games, you can't afford to do that as a Confederate.
Yeah, on a one-to-one basis.
You can't afford to make.
Yeah.
Because if you lose even one manpower, it's that -3 that you're, or plus, whatever it is, +3 and giving you +3 points.
Yeah.
It was just silly. I shouldn't have done it, but I got frustrated because I was like, well, I need to have somehow there's morale in the Army that doesn't exist, right? These are counters on it. They don't know what you're rolling. You're not gonna, you can't send out a message saying, yeah, we beat these guys at this crossroads and everybody cheers. That's not gonna happen. These counters don't care.
Well, I like that you mentioned the Tennessee football because I really do. I'm a college football fan. I think that 3 things in the Great Campaign series are very similar to that. One is Big Mo, momentum. If obviously that's your string of initiatives, right? There's morale, which we are directly affecting through our pieces on the board. But mental errors are so much of it. If you already said it, if you make a mental error just by playing with emotion, and I don't want people to think that with Roger and I sitting here with our actuarial tables and the spreadsheet, it's not. We do play with the concept of victory points in mind, and there is a balance and there's calculus. But you do, if you get into an emotional moment where you're like, I'm going to it's going to work this time, I'm going to attack. That's the mental errors. So you just have to take a breath and say, okay, what is this going to give me if I'm successful? Does it advance my position, or is it just because I'm lashing out with the force because I have done poorly up to that point? So you have to you have to be somewhat emotionless when you play the game here. That's true of all war games, I think, but this one especially because it can start to pile up after a while, and you're like, ugh, and then it rains, and then this, and then this. And if you get into that mindset, then you have to just take, hey, tomorrow's another day. As you said, snap and clear. Let's just move on. And I made a mental mistake last time. I didn't need to do that, but it felt good at the moment that I did it. And there was a point there, like I said with Roger, I'm like, I don't know if I would be making all those attacks, but you have a plan, and I never discount the fact that you have a plan, and most of the time it almost comes off when you do it. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe he's about to win on this last attack.
Well, I was hoping that Ewell would not be attacking at this point, but I just didn't quite get the right string of units to get a unit into Spotsylvania Courthouse and then move these Ewell, E. Johnson, and Rhodes over there as the last. Was more as a defense and to put up, as you said, the mule shoe, the angle, the defense position here. But it was just became it was a whack-a-mole for me. It came and you whacked me just too many times. Like, even if I got in here this last time, there's still all these guys. You got Warren sitting up there. You got Bernie. But it was fun. It's a really interesting scenario. I think you do have to think 5 turns ahead to some extent and think, okay. And that to me is still hard. I still have a hard time going, okay. I think I still take my guys too often to fatigue 3 and fatigue 4 when I shouldn't in marching, especially now in 1864 where we have this, again, the entrenching aspect. And I really like how you thought through, do I entrench at the block house? Do I put up my flanks confused? And you opted to do, you chose not to
I
attack,
chose
didn't
not
you?
to attack, right? I think that's why you and I are well paired, so evenly matched as opponents because we have the same strengths and the same weaknesses on for the most part on things like this. I am a very tactical player. It's moment to moment. Okay, all right. Oh, he did that. How do I need to fix that situation? What do I do? I am not. Hey, in turn 4, I am not gonna. I've barely kind of look at that. I do so more in the campaign games because that, but as we are playing with 5 turns here, I don't necessarily think, all right, if I do all this, all right, turn 2, I probably need to do that. Turn 3, it really is, all of that's out the window because you get a great string of initiatives and you're in my face now, so I have to react to that. That's one of the strengths of the system that I think is so wonderful. I like to think from a narrative perspective that Yule doing what he did here at the end, he's just trying to make up for Culp's Hill, you know? He's just saying, look, I think it's practicable that I can go into Spotsylvania Courthouse. So, yeah, that's I mean, it worked out. I think that's what Yule would have done.
Yeah, and I was like, I was trying to figure out when Rhodes was here. Is like, do I move him up here? Do I move him down there? Do I move him up here? Do I move him down there? And I figured I wanted to move down here. I thought, well, maybe you'll attack from there.
It's neat when you were doing that because I was sitting there doing the mental puzzle too. I'm like, well, what is the benefit of the only benefit was to get Rhodes out of the way, and he gives you nothing else anywhere else because he's a fatigue level 4. He doesn't help you with a flank because you're on the wrong side. So I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done. Just get him off the road. Go camp over there, boys. Get out of the way.
Yeah, I figured it was relatively safe because I think, was there any defensive value to have him there? I thought, well, there's a little bit, but he's also just going to get clobbered too. So anyway,
Yeah.
This is a, it's the first time I played it. I learned a lot. I think it's, Upton didn't get to play, which is unfortunate.
Boo! You'll use him effectively, I'm sure.
And Sedgwick was never killed, so he got to live. Good for him.
That's right.
Yeah, you were never on the offensive, other than driving me out of Spotsylvania, which is my fault. I think on the Confederate player, I think the one thing in this scenario is you've got to figure out a way to force the Union to attack you. And that I did not do. I mean, I was the one doing the attacking, which is, Lee, I want to need a brawler. But even he figured out I can't do that. Anyway.
Well, you certainly made the most of the approaches here by trying to get around and build up some flanks because I think that's what you have to do, especially to counter the situation that you're in. You had to try to build up a +2 or a +4 somewhere, and also biding your time, waiting, trying to build a grand assault, utilize the extra Lee bonus, just every little tidbit that you can get. Exactly.
It's like I needed Lee in like 4 places at once. Yep. It's like, okay, which place is the one? If I fail here, of course, getting pushed all the way over to here once. Great scenario. Yeah. Good gaming for sure. I think people will enjoy it. I know they're going to enjoy the upgrade maps they're going to get. And I hope people continue to support great campaigns because I really enjoy this system and I enjoy playing it.
I have gotten more than a few requests for, hey, can we utilize that Vassal module? I don't see it online. Like I have to say I'm sorry. This is just a preview. It's playtest. But every one of them that has spoken, they've always added that little disclaimer. I've already supported on Richmond too. I'm like, great. And then you'll see it sometime this year. I know you will.
Yeah. They've got to be getting close to getting it out. I'm really looking forward to seeing what I haven't seen the Petersburg campaign.
I have not either. Yeah, so I'm very excited about that.
I'm seeing what they've done to that with 1865. If they've made any additional changes with the.
Then we will close the books on this first playthrough of Bloody Spotsylvania. Come on back next time. It was eventually.
If it's 500 manpower per loss, I've got 6,500 Confederate casualties and 3,500 Union casualties.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Over 10,000.
Yeah.
11,000 casualties. So. Yeah.
Definitely a meat grinder.
Yep. Definitely a meat grinder.
Well, then I will ask you once again, as you're watching the end of this video, to take a moment, click that like and subscribe to support the channel. Every little bit helps the algorithm. Putting the thumbs up. We're still trying to get 100 views, 100 likes. That's my challenge for this year. Also, the notification bell will tell you when I drop these here, and for the most part, they're at the beginning of the week, right after Roger and I, because Roger and I have such a great brisk pace that it's very easy to edit these down, and I can get them out within a day or two. So thank you for that, Roger. I appreciate it. I'm also showing you our current financial supporters. We got a new one yesterday, so thank you very much to everybody who's got your name up there. We appreciate it. Certainly not expected, but it is overwhelming the amount of support that we get, both financially and just from the comments section. So feel free to opine what your thoughts are on this whole scenario down there below. We will be back very soon with our replay. I will take the Confederates. Roger will take the Union. Until that time, then, Roger, have a great one.
You too. Thank you, Patrick. Talk to you later. Bye.